cutoff race underway under the lights at Bristol.
Elliott already jumping up on the outside of Martin Truex Jr. He's going to make that work.
Yesterday, before the Xfinity Series race, they put traction compound down. PJ1 on the track. NASCAR decided they were not going to reapply that before tonight's race. And so what is down there was not reapplied. It is what was at the end of the Xfinity Series race is what they're experiencing on the track now.
3 teammates right there. The 14, the 10, the 41, all racing for a playoff spot. Clint Boyer told me earlier today the pathway to the next round is beating his teammates. If he can do that, he's in great shape.
Points on the left side of the screen, and you see right now the 18 is 1 point out of making it into the round of 12. That's because he had to start at the back. That many positions lost just because of failing pre-race inspection.
Yeah, but he's got to have to take a deep breath. 5 laps in. At least they kind of got through the start. We've seen early accidents just 2 or 3 laps into the race. We're at least 5 in. It's mostly single file. Now the 18 can kind of take his time. Although at this point you see no real pressure on the cars ahead. I mean, this is his view. Where's he going to go? Teammates side by side. Dave, oh, close between Denny Hamlin and the 77, Dave.
And Steve, what lane are they running? They're running that high lane that's not being used by the slower cars. Adam Stevens, the crew chief on the 18, told me, we hope that line comes in early so we can use it as a passing lane. Now it'll get tougher as they move forward, but maybe they're working enough rubber in right now, Marty.
Dave, I asked Denny Hamlin about starting in the back. He said the one advantage we have, we've already advanced. We don't need stage points tonight, so we can do opposite of what everybody else does in terms of pit strategy and work our way to the front. He said, I care about 1 lap tonight, lap 500. I want to be there and be able to win. Hamlin's so excellent at this racetrack, still feels like he has a shot to win, even from the back tonight.
Well, a little concerned with Denny Hamlin.
There you hear the in-car camera telling his team that he's gotten the fence a little bit. Doesn't look like it's hurt the car any. Light contact.
I was going to be a little concerned, Junior. There was no yellow lettering on that right front tire. I wasn't sure where that came from.
Yeah, I think he's going to be okay.
Maybe on the left front too. He's 2 for 2 on the front tires.
Yeah, he got squeezed in a wall there a little bit. He'll be fine. Look up there. A lot of contact between Bubba Wallace.
Bubba also went to the back. The 32, 43, and 15 all went to the back at the start of the race as well.
We'll see this all night long, guys. Lap traffic will play a factor in this race. Leaders are so much faster than these guys, and how they catch them, the timing of when they catch them, and how they manipulate them can determine who's going to win this race.
Yeah, 12 laps into the race and starting to lap cars. No practice, these guys. Some of these cars are just not going to be comfortable, not going to be fast.
Bristol Motor Speedway, and still out front, Brad Keselowski, after he was able to get by Matt DiBenedetto in that 21. He hasn't put a lot of distance between himself and that number 21 car. So Matt DiBenedetto, and this call, a pretty good call. So you would have to say Greg Irwin did the right thing here with a 2-tire stop to get him up front. He's holding on to second.
It was a great call. It was an aggressive call. I love the aggression. We talked about, hey, you got to win, so you got to call the race like you got to win. You can't just hope it's going to fall in your lap. Even if it's wrong, all right, you reload and try it again. And Matty D, great restart, got in line, and kind of what I call, Jeff, you know, kind of like stop the bleeding, right? Like he knew he wasn't going to get the lead or keep the lead, but once he got past, he's just driving within the speed of his race car.
A couple guys need to stop the bleeding. Clint Boyer slid all the way back to 19th, Cole Custer in 23rd. Marty.
Hey, Junior, you got to give a call, as we mentioned a moment ago, to Greg Irwin for making that call for Matt DiBenedetto. And, Junior, you know Steve's made those calls before. They were running 14th when that caution came out. It vaulted him to the lead. Now he's held on to second, so if they wind up here in the top 5, that's a terrific move as Chase Elliott gets around Joey Logano for the 3rd position. For them to be able to hang in the top 5 for Matt D, that's nice, Dave.
So, Marty, in the spring race here, Paul Wolfe, even though they didn't have a good finish based on the late wreck with Chase Elliott, Joey Logano's speed was quite good. He said the one thing that we didn't like so much about it was our long run speed. And we talked about it. This may be a long run to the end of the stage. This may be a good chance for Paul Wolf and Joey Logano to evaluate what's going on with their situation. He just lost third to Chase Elliott, but hanging in there pretty tough right now.
Talk about the guys at the front hanging in there tough. One guy that's not hanging in there at all, he's on full-blown offense, and that's the 18 of Kyle Busch. He has gained 16 positions since the restart. We showed him get blocked in on pit road. And I'm going to tell you, we didn't know if the stage was set. We didn't know if the long winless season was going to get under the skin of Kyle Busch. We didn't know what was going to happen tonight. But if the other 415 laps are anything like the first, 85 of this race, these competitors are going to have to deal with Kyle Busch. This car looks like Kyle Busch at Bristol, a place that he's had so much success.
I got Kyle winning this race, but he is running that high line, and I think more cars will find that speed up there and be able to kind of close that gap in speed once they understand what he's doing. I mean, I'm sure the spotters are all communicating, hey, the 18 car, fastest car on the track, where is he running? And they're all going to go up there and find that speed as well.
And that line that he's running, getting a little darker. You can see the rubber being put down on the racetrack up where he's running. Want to see who is on the move. Of course, the biggest mover, Kyle Busch, currently running in the 9th spot. So he's already up into the top 10. Started 37th after their issues with inspection earlier. And when you look at teammate Denny Hamlin, who also had to go to the back, he's only 17th. So Kyle Busch, definitely the fastest car on the track right now, Dave.
And Rick, this race run is now 49 laps old. The beginning wasn't so good for Kyle Busch. He kind of got boxed in to the cars around him. But boy, once he got going, he passed like 6 or 7 cars in 6 or 7 laps and has been on a tear all the way up to 9th position now, keeping an eye on him and that battle for second on the left.
Yeah, the 9 car moving up the track to try to get some momentum off the high side. The 21's not going to come off the bottom. So that might be Chase his only option to go to the top. Here he goes again to the high side. Lap traffic could be a problem up there. He's got him on the outside now. He's on the outside quarter panel. Great move by Chase. Matt being very patient there, allowing the pass to happen.
New leader at Bristol, the 9 of Chase Elliott, now out front. Was able to get by the 2 of Brad Keselowski, so Keselowski drops back to second.
Yeah, Brad Keselowski was lapping Ryan Newman. Ryan Newman drives back around the 2 car. Keselowski struggling here on the long run.
Yeah, it's almost like he's worn out his left side tires or something. The last couple laps, he is just completely off the pace.
The Penske cars have such great short run speed, especially the short tracks like Richmond last week and again tonight, even in the Xfinity Series last night.
It's going to be a hard pass. And right now you see Kyle Busch flying up here trying to win this stage. Well,
he's in second now, Jeff.
Chase Elliott, he has to clear Ryan Newman. If not, this 18 car is going to come right up on him. Chase has cleared Ryan Newman now. 13 to go before the end of this stage. Remember, he swept both stages in the spring here.
Talking about Kyle Busch?
No.
Because he's about ready to win this stage, starting at the back. That's how impressive this run is.
Well, we all were wondering, when's the defending champ going to show up and be himself again? He's won 1 out of 50 races.
And only won 1 stage so far this year. Only 1 stage the entire year.
He doesn't even sound like himself, does he, Jeff? Like, you talk to him, he just sounds, I don't want to say defeated, but he sounds confused. He sounds just a little short on the confidence that made Kyle.
I think that was the word, confused. Even after the Xfinity race in Richmond, where he didn't run horrible, but didn't run great. He was like, I just can't figure this out. Like, it talked a lot about the tire and just not understanding how it was supposed to feel, Dave.
But how do you make this guy great, the reigning champion of the series? You give him a challenge, you make him mad, and Kyle's starting at the back. is a way to do that. Talked to Adam Stevens, his crew chief, after they failed inspection for the second time. He said, well, we'll probably have to give up stage 1 points altogether, stage points. But he said it's not impossible. When you're talking about Kyle Busch at Bristol, it certainly isn't. He's good for 9 right now, Marty, going for a 10.
Stage rapidly closing in on the end of stage 1, 7 to go. Brad Keselowski led 82 laps here in this stage, so the front tires are absolutely gone on that race car. They also said, hey, round 2 terrifies us, the most important race in the playoffs, according to Jeremy Bullins, next week at Las Vegas. He said, I want to win there and avoid all the chaos at Talladega and the Roval, Dylan.
Marty, you see Kevin Harvick in the 4 car just working the high side around Brad Keselowski. That'll make his crew chief, Rodney Childers, happy. Said, feels like we've had silly things that have relegated us out of the top 10 the last 3 races here. But every time the racetrack moves to the top, that's where we shine. They gained 2/10 a lap in the spring when they moved up. It's moved up already. Here comes the 4 car.
Under 5 to go now, and Chase Elliott is starting to see that 18 in his mirror. Is it enough time? Can Kyle Busch get up there, or will it be a win for him to be in the top 2 at the end of stage 1 after where he started?
Chase caught the lap traffic in a really good situation right there, entering turn 3. That really helped him create a little gap.
Under 3 to go. Chase Elliott stays down low. Kyle Busch mired behind the lap traffic, can't get by. 2 to go. What a run it's been, though, for the 18 team. There he has a shot, trying to get below the lap traffic, can't do it. Maybe a little contact up there with the race leader. Looked like Chase Elliott may have had some contact on this final lap, looking for his 3rd straight stage win at Bristol. Jeff, you mentioned it. He's 3 in a row now.
Unfortunately for Matty D in that 21 car, I think those right side tires just finally slowed down too much. He ended up 12th, Rick, outside the points.
Good launch for the 18, not so great for the 9.
Yeah, that's going to save the 88. The 9 got such a poor launch, allow him to get into 2nd place there comfortably.
Interesting, Kyle Busch didn't even think about running the bottom. Somebody else right on the bottom of the racetrack. You know, Kyle Busch leading the race, going anywhere he wants. He's in the middle lane.
Keselowski on that outside, chasing after Kurt Busch in the 1. See the points as they run. And right now, Clint Boyer just outside of the playoff picture for the round of 12. Cole Custer, 21 and 12. Those 2 struggling, didn't get playoff points. Now in more of a must-win situation than they were to start the race.
Chris Lavelle in that 95 car ran really well early, got stage points, had a bad pit stop, lost some of those spots. Now back to work. Got to get those spots back.
Trying to go to work on a future teammate. He'll be back with Joe Gibbs Racing next year.
I mentioned earlier when the 11 car brushed the fence that it didn't hurt the body of the car too bad, but he hasn't had the speed or been able to kind of match the speed of the 18 as they drove through the field. Kind of struggling right there to make time on the guy in front of him. Here's Brian Blaney trying to work his way back through the pack. Now I got some new fresh rubber on the front of that car, so it's going to work a lot better for him.
Back in 26. Remember, he was running as high as 5th in stage 1.
Moving forward, yeah. Now he's kind of mired back here trying to work his way around these guys.
One thing, Junior, also is that, you know, we just saw a Penske car with damage on the left front tire. You know, do you have enough confidence that you can go run hard early in these runs and not hurt the tires?
Yeah, I think the bottom groove is the groove that does the most damage on that left front, because the transitions here are kind of funky. You come off the corner and the track flattens out before the turn's over. So the banking isn't there, right? Watch the banking go away. There's still turn, right? So as you're losing the banking, it starts to pick the left front tire and drag it across the racetrack and grain that tire off. Marty.
Hey, Junior, you guys were mentioning Ryan Blaney a moment ago. We're right on board with them. The car way too tight at the end of that run. They fell all the way back to 27th. Now they're up in 25th. Todd Gordon preached to Ryan Blaney from immediately after the Richmond race was over. There's a points pass for us through to the next round. But in order to do that, they needed 15 stage points tonight. So getting none in stage one, that means there is now one path for Ryan Blaney. They know it now. They must win tonight, and the aggression will pick up for Blaney if he wants to make it to the next round, Dylan.
Hey, Marty, we talked at the start of the broadcast about Alex Bowman and how he didn't like to play defense. The best way to play offense is just drive up there and charge through the field and run up front. That's exactly what they've done. Crew Chief Greg Ives told me earlier today that they want to build on the momentum of the last 4 weeks. They've had top 10s in every single race. This track isn't a great track for them, but it's all about base hits today. Just running solid, not doing anything flashy. They're doing that right now as Alex runs inside the top 5.
Situation right here where Matt DiBenedetto's now only 2 laps down. I think 3 down, your night's over. But with 2 down, I think you can get those back. But the 41 here is fighting to stay on the lead lap after pretty much a disastrous race up to this point. Cole Custer fighting for his playoff future here.
Oh! Little bump there, as Kyle Busch said, it's time for me to get by because the 9 of Chase Elliott was getting very big in his mirror.
Yeah, the 9, the 4. Get Chase threading the needle through there.
Yep, here comes Harvick as well.
And Cole Custer giving everything he can. Just does not want to go lap down. Obviously lap down. Hoping now the caution will come out before Kyle Busch gets another guy a lap down.
That high line is the line of choice tonight as we see Kyle Busch running there. Elliott runs there. Harvick runs there. And again, Cole Custer has fallen back now to the 24th position. Dylan.
They've just been battling a super tight condition all evening long, and Mike Shiplett talked about the importance of the early part of this race and not getting behind so they didn't have to go into desperation mode. That's part of what you saw there, I think, was him not wanting to go another lap down, trying to put the block on the race leader, and it almost ended in an even worse outcome than what it could have been. So desperation starting to set in for these guys. They know they've got to do something miraculous if they want to advance to the round of 12.
And Ryan Preece got by Cole Custer. That puts Ryan Preece the first car lap down now. It's a bad situation for a rookie driver. Cole Custer, a rookie, being put in that desperation situation. That's normally not a good recipe.
Interesting to see the 18 car made all this time, got to the front of this field running the high side, now working the bottom of the racetrack here at this stage.
And that Truex right in front of the 18. And Truex is in danger of going a lap down right here.
Yeah, I'm hearing the 19 is a vibration. They're not sure if it's a tire or a wheel, but definitely the issue on the 19. Let's listen in.
Up here, they're got a wheel coming loose. Now 4, tire coming apart. 10-4. So get you loose if you can turn that.
There you go. The 19 peels off the bank and comes to pit road. He'll only have to run 1 straightaway, but as you pointed out, Jeff, 2, probably 3 laps will be lost by Martin Truex Jr., a car that came in feeling okay about the points, Dave. This is going to be nerve-wracking.
No wins in 19 tries for Martin Truex Jr. at this track. Something always seems to go wrong, even though his short track program has picked up so much in recent times. Doesn't look like it's going to happen here again tonight, but we'll see. 4 fresh Goodyear tires, and they'll send him on his way.
Talk about the banking of Bristol, Rick. You know, when you can tighten 4 lug nuts, even 5 lug nuts. If you try to tighten all 5, one sometimes doesn't get all the way pulled up as we have a good battle here for second. Some tracks, not a lot of load. A flat track like Martinsville, they can survive. But here on the banking, those wheels will come loose. We've seen it before.
We've seen it before tonight, and potentially seeing it right there with the 19. And the 4, using that bottom line, gets to the inside, fighting for that second spot.
Yeah, that was so smart. Saw the lap car hit of the 66 lap car hit. Oh, big damage
this.
on the 11 car here.
A lot of damage for Denny Hamlin.
Wow, he has run into something seriously.
Denny Hamlin maybe didn't know that Martin Truex Jr. was coming to pit road and may have gotten into the back of the 19.
I'm impressed he can see over that hood.
That's a great point, Steve. It's definitely in his vision a little bit. But you wonder, obviously, we think about a short track, we think aerodynamics don't matter, but they do matter. That is going to hurt that race car in the way it drives.
He had enough points. He's advancing to the round of 12. No matter the outcome of tonight's race.
I'm in a precarious position because I got the 19 and the 11 in my fantasy lineup. I don't know what to do at this point.
What happens if they fight?
Do I get extra points? Well, looking at the rear bumper of the 19, I think we know where the front bumper of the 11 made contact.
And so JGR cars getting together and creating some damage for the 11 of Denny Hamlin. Let's listen in to Martin Truex Jr.'s radio.
No idea what just happened. It just went straight. The 11, I'm sorry.
The 19's got a little damage on the right side as well.
And right there.
Oh. Yeah, I think you were mentioning like it was coming to pit road. I think it was after they had pitted, Rick, because the right side tires on the 19 have the Goodyear missing. So I think he came to pit road, got 4 tires because of his issue, got back on the racetrack, looking at that replay. Then Dale Jr., he goes up, makes contact with the wall, must jump out of the gas, I assume, because he hits the wall, and the 11 runs into him. Nowhere to go for Denny Hamlin.
Coming into tonight's race, William Byron was 3 points below the cut line and now involved in an accident. He was running 10th. This could be it for William Byron. Look at this, the steam rolling out from underneath the hood, a lot of damage to the front. Marty.
And Rick, they're done. They're done for the night. It got the radiator. William Byron also said, I have no oil pressure. So William Byron came in hoping to be able to advance and did everything he needed to do in this race. He was the only bubble guy who earned stage points in stage 1, was running 10th. And he said someone in the middle of the track just stopped. And that's when William Byron made contact. And going by me, well, you can smell the oil pouring from that 24 car.
Listen into the 24 radio.
I don't know why he just stopped in the middle of the straightaway. What an idiot.
Chad Knaus will come off of the pit box. It was a big season for William Byron. Got his first career win in the Cup Series. Made his way into the playoffs. But this isn't the way they envisioned the 2020 season as far as the playoffs go ending. And the frustration, yeah.
So, you're racing for your life. Advance to the playoffs and have a chance to win the championship, and now it's over.
Yeah, looks like there's some heavy damage to the back of the 95 car. It might have been the car he ran into.
A lot of damage back there. Christopher Bell. And getting ready for the restart. The 18-4 once again chosen that high line. Another great launch for Kyle Busch. Kevin Harvick, a better restart there.
Kyle is just unbelievable on those restarts. Look at the gap he already has created.
Harvick able to clear Logano, and now Chase Elliott working on Logano for that 3rd spot.
We'll note Matt Benedetto did not pit that time, so he stayed out, which actually got him one of those laps back. Just keep an eye on him. His night's not over.
The fight continues, Jeff. The fight continues for the 21, and that issue for Byron is a little bit of life for everyone else, because with him out of the race, now you kind of know the bogey of where he's going to end up in points.
We get just 7 to go in stage 2.
And I'll add to that issue with Byron. You know, we don't have that many cars out of the race, so even you look at the points, right? You take someone like the 10 or the 14, the 41, you know, if anybody has an issue, they're going to lose a ton of points because there's so many cars still on the track.
Look at the 10, Eric Almirola. Almirola currently 11th in the point standings, plus 29 over the cut line.
Right behind him is Boyer, running 7th and 8th. Trying to get some stage points right here. Boyer said he has to beat his teammates, so there's one of them right in front of you.
Got a good eye on him.
There's 1 and 2. They've separated themselves. Coming up on 2 to go. Kyle Busch finished 2nd in stage 1 behind Chase Elliott. And now with 2 to go, he's trying to hold off Kevin Harvick. He's got about 3 car lengths on him. Steve, so many tires in the pits, even though this is only about a 10-lap run. Are we going to see him come back onto pit road at the end? We see a caution coming out, though. The 6 has an issue. So the caution comes out. This will probably end stage 2.
I think at this point, Rick, you asked about the tires before the yellow came out. With that fewer laps, I think people are going to stay out to keep their track position. I mean, there were up to 24 cars in the lead lap. Jeff, we're going to have to get the word from NASCAR. Matty D stayed out, and he might have worked himself into the free pass position. We'll wait to see where that's awarded, Rick, but if that's the case,
huge.
Couldn't be a better turn of events for the 21 car.
Yeah, huge for the 21 car if he is in, which right now, according to our scoring monitor, he's in the position for the free pass. Take a look at what happened with the 6 of Ryan Newman. Sideways through the turn. Doesn't look like he makes any contact on the outside. And sure enough, the free pass does go to Matt DiBenedetto. He'll be back on the lead lap. The final stage is underway.
Harvick got a much better launch that time.
Now with drivers locking themselves in, Clint Boyer, 24 points, 26 points above the cut line. Cole Custer, we know William Byron's out. The 12 and the 21, they are in must-win situations. They've got to get up front if they want to advance into the round of 12.
Car we just haven't talked about much tonight, but heck of a round is that 3 car of Austin Dillon, a couple cars behind him. You know, the first 2 races were good enough, actually more than good enough. They were really, really good for the 3 car. Where he's plus 53 riding around here thinking, oh, I'm glad I'm out of all the drama. I just want to get out of Bristol. Good for the 3. Yeah. Justin Alexander, Austin Dillon, just a great first round for the RCR car.
Yeah, I think coming into this race, people were wondering whether they were for real. Was the last 2 races. I know they were great races, but man, can they keep it up? It looks like they got the pace tonight again. Dave.
But it was really quiet for a while there. He's back up in the top 10 now, and he said the car just gets tight over the long, doesn't free up until the long run. So they wanted to free up a little bit more at the start of the run. Justin Alexander, the crew chief, made an adjustment last time they were down pit road for that.
What's interesting about that team is they're up in Welcome, North Carolina. Kind of a satellite team in terms of most of the other teams centered around Mooresville, North Carolina, Charlotte area, Concord, Harrisburg.
See Ryan Blaney getting by the 14 of Clint Boyer. Look over there on the points. So the 10 of Almirola's 11th. Boyer's 14th. 26 points. They're good. No problem, right? Well, that car that just passed him, Ryan Blaney, if he goes up there and was able to win this race, that would bump one of those 2 guys out. So they have been around each other all night long, and it looks like they're safe right now, but they have to assume that Ryan Blaney or Matt DiBenedetto is going to win this race, and it could be a battle of between 1 point between those 2 cars, Marty.
And Jeff, look who has come to life. Ryan Blaney, who has struggled with a tight race car all evening long, finally in a position where the car is much better, running in 7th. And for the last 5 laps or so as we ride on board with Blaney, he's been one of the 5 fastest cars on the racetrack. So Blaney knows his only path into the round of 12. He's got to figure out a way up to the front and figure out a way to beat Kyle Busch tonight, which no one's been able to figure that out, Dylan.
And Marty, talking about Clint Boyer, he's on the bubble, tied right now with his teammate Cole Custer. Boyer sits 12th in points. Listen to what he and the team were discussing on the radio just a few laps ago about their point situation.
All right, so the 10 car is 6 points ahead of us. If the 21 or the 41 or the 12 were to win, obviously we would need to close that gap to him.
The biggest thing they wanted to do tonight as this 14 team was just have a no-drama night. Needed some stage points as well. They got some at the end of stage 2, running as high as they've been all night. They cannot afford to lose any positions on the racetrack because they are again tied with their teammate to make it to the round of 12.
I spoke to Clint Boyer earlier today, and I asked him, how do you feel going into this race? And he said, man, I feel great. He said, here's the deal. It's a short track. You have to attack every corner anyway. You have to go and be aggressive if you're going to be successful. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go race like that. And I thought that was an interesting point. Like, you just go and race this race and don't worry about the points and treat it like a short track.
Here comes Chase Elliott once again in the 9. As he's running the tire tracks of Joey Logano.
Chase to the top of the racetrack. Trying to get a run here. Lap car on the outside. He's got momentum down to get the inside of this 22 here in 1 and 2. I think that bottom groove is really nice in 1 and 2. Better than in 3 and 4. Down here it'd be tough to make this pass on the bottom of 22. He's going to stay out there.
In the fight for the 3rd spot here.
You wouldn't think it, looking at the racetrack, but the corners are different. I've always felt like that, Jeff, that turn 1 and 2 is a little bit more of a tighter radius.
Yeah, no question. I think 1 and 2 is a much tighter radius. You see Elliott making that pass. It doesn't look like it when you look at it from the sky, but it's just, they feel completely different. It's always looser getting into turn 3 than it was into turn 1.
Look at how Chase Elliott now checks out on Logano.
Yeah, Chase got good speed here.
Marty, what's happening with the 21?
Well, Rick, I think it bears repeating what a 20-lap swing as we watch Kevin Harvick go for the lead against Kyle Busch, Rick.
Running that high line, Harvick with momentum. He'll take the lead away from the 18. Interesting, Kyle Busch had been running that high line. That's how he got up front. And now he goes to the bottom and he gets passed by the 4 using the high line.
Early in the race, remember, we were talking about the 4 of Kevin Harvick, how he didn't want to run the top. He was running the bottom, being very patient, but now goes right up there, takes the lead away.
And Marty, looks like Denny Hamlin's on pit road.
Yeah, 97 to go. This is the first of the rest of the leaders coming down pit road. Hamlin running in 14th, but down a lap. They did fix all of that damage. Fitted 3 times under the last caution. You get that damage fit, but they have lost a ton of downforce on that 11 car, Dave.
Jimmy Johnson on pit route now. The 48 will go to work there, getting it 4 fresh tires and fuel. Gave up a top 10 position there. See if he can rotate back toward that by the end of the night. Chase Elliott coming to pit road as well. Chase was running up front, I believe, in the 3rd position. There he is now, heading to his pits. Car pretty well, pretty good handling balance-wise tonight for Chase. He'll just get his 4 fresh tires and fuel here and hope he doesn't catch a caution at the wrong time. Dylan,
right there's a big caution. The 53 into the wall.
Kevin Harvick, the leader, was right there in that vicinity. I don't know if he got any damage or not.
Yeah, he was headed to pit road.
3 car just wrecked us.
He was headed
The
to pit
3
road.
car tried to shove it in when the 4 was pitting and wrecked you.
There you hear it.
The 53 driven by James Davison, the 34-year-old out of Australia.
Oh, Rick, get your notepad out.
His first time at Bristol. And you see the damage to the back of the car. And obviously they thought they had a little help.
So he's underneath the car here.
Yeah, you see Austin, looks like the smoke comes as he was hitting the brakes hard.
The 4 was coming to pit road, it looks like, so this is going to be a good break for the 4.
Yeah, that's what happened. So Austin was trying to slow down big time to keep from getting into the back of the 4 and lost control and got up in the side of James Davidson.
to go from Bristol.
And the jump the leaders get just incredible tonight. Call them being that big, but pretty much every restart, the leader's been comfortably in the lead by turn 1.
Boyer there in 3rd place. 2 guys behind him with nothing to lose. They're not in the playoffs. Only here for one thing only. That's to win the race. Clint needs to understand their situation, not just his own. They're willing to take gambles, and they don't really care about you. They're here to serve themselves.
As we see Eric Jones get by. Jones to 3rd. Boyer to 4th. Reddick running top 5.
Jones was just about to go a lap down when that caution came out. He bounced across the ball twice out in front of the leader, trying to stay on the lead lap. Here he is. Less than a straightaway behind him in 3rd place.
It's just interesting, right? We talk so much about the playoffs, but in NASCAR, the other guys continue to get to race, Rick. Eric Jones has got to feel just a little, little torn. He's not going to be back at Joe Gibbs Racing. Don't know what he's going to be doing next year. Well, the best audition in the world will be going to Victory Lane. We don't know if he already has a deal signed, but winning fixes a lot of things. Dylan.
Well, I think all you guys know this and understand what a moral dilemma it is, or what a battle it is internally when you're in the situation he's in, because as much as you try to block it from your mind, it's always going to be there. And it's been really difficult for both Eric and Chris Gale, because they both don't really know what the future holds for them. So they've tried really, really hard to separate it and keep their team together, but said that the best medicine for that is just to have a good run. And like we said, they felt like this was going to be a place where they could do that. They're very focused on getting a win before the season's out, and in a great position to do that right now as they run 3rd.
Eric Jones running 3rd, and we've mentioned that his career is in jeopardy. They don't know what they're going to be doing. Well, Kyle Busch talked about drivers just like Eric Jones and what they might do here at this racetrack, maybe desperate moves in these positions.
It is a playoff race. It's going to come down to crunch time. It is a an elimination race, as you put it. So there's going to be guys doing some desperate things, making some desperate moves. If they're on the outside looking in, if they don't have a good Darlington or a good Richmond, they're winning, you're in. That's always the sentiment. So you got to be careful of everybody's agendas when you get down towards the end of these races.
He's well aware of what people are willing to do, and right now, a little bit loose there of Harvick. Can he get by him for the lead?
18 super quick right now. Has a lot of speed. We just don't know how hard Harvick is pushing. He may be riding, trying to save those tires for this long run to the finish.
Essentially, Kevin's still right there on the bottom of the racetrack. Kyle Busch trying to make the top work.
Yeah, I think if Kevin knows he has a little bit more in the pocket by moving up the racetrack. I think he's actually just kind of rolling that bottom very quiet, very easily.
You see what happened right there when Kyle went to the bottom. Kevin was able to gain a little bit of ground on him in 1 and 2. Interesting, Kyle can drive in the corner a little bit deeper than Kevin can and still run the bottom, but then Kevin leaves the corner, leaves the exits a little better than Kyle's able to.
Pretty good.
Like, pretty good. Man, I was running down, and now I'm not. Yeah, the advantage that 18 had just a moment ago now seems to be going away. He's searching up and down the racetrack, trying to find that advantage back, trying to get that speed back in his car. Bottom, top, looking around, finding grip. Kevin Harvick out there just committed to that bottom, taking it easy.
Does Kyle Busch have anything left? 30 laps to go at Bristol. Harvick looking for his 9th win of 2020. Kyle Busch looking for his 1st win of 2020.
There'll be more lap traffic up here for the 4-car to contend with.
And they both know that's the game right now, right? They both lost the lead in lap traffic, so now they have to understand that that's where the opportunity is. What do you do differently?
So Denny Hamlin's the next car that'll be a challenge for the leader. They've had a lot of good chemistry and camaraderie between the 4 and 11, between their 2 amazing seasons, but all that's out the window now. Dylan.
Jr., one of the things that Kevin Harvick and Rodney Childers both have tried to balance today is that mixture of being too aggressive and too cautious. Even though they're in a fine position from playoff standings, they do obviously still want this win, but don't want to put themselves in a bad spot to tear up a car or jeopardize anything. So it's been interesting, and it will be interesting to watch Harvick continue to try and go through this lap traffic. How hard will he push? Because, Dave, we know the guy behind him is going to push awfully, awfully hard.
Dylan, he's had to be aggressive all night long. Starting at the back has Kyle Busch trying to stay in a 15-year, added to 16 winning streak in his life. It's been a surprise this year that he hasn't won all season long, and Adam Stevens told me in May they were just a little bit off, tried to make it a little bit better. He'll see if he has enough for Harvick here.
The weather car just pulls right over.
Yeah, is that a classy move by Denny Hamlin, knowing that the race is...
If you're Kevin Harvick, you love it. Oh, car in the fence up here in front of the leaders. The 95,
down to the bottom.
Crystal Rail hard in the wall. He's got a flat tire.
No caution yet, as he's slow trying to get off of the racetrack. They stay green, 23 to go. He's going to make it to pit road.
There's that, the right front is killed, guys. Be ready.
And these two continue to battle.
Harvick maintains the lead, lapping Daniel Suarez.
Kyle Busch not giving him a chance to breathe. That's what Kyle's got to do. He's got to keep that pressure on, knowing all this lap traffic's coming.
There is lap traffic, but not a lot. 21 laps to go.
Here it comes.
I think these guys might give a lot of weight to the leaders. John Hunter Nemechek going low, allowing Harvick to have his preferred line. Harvick's probably on the radio, or his spotter 10 feet away is on the roof.
Whoa, sideways was the Ford of Harvick.
Wow. That shows you how hard Harvick's having to push to stay in front of Kyle Busch.
Spotters are trying to direct these lap guys out of their preferred line. They badly want to keep that top. Harvick's hoping that McDowell's going to move low and allow him to stay up here.
Under 20 laps to go. 4 more drivers have locked themselves in. The 18, the 3, the 88, and the 19 all will advance to the round of 12. Only 3 spots still up for grabs.
And Harvick is pushing that car to the limit, right up against the marbles.
This entire run, that full car has been a handful on corner exit.
Gap closed again.
Off of 2, there's nothing left. He's getting everything he can get.
You have a hole in your nose, that's what's probably making you tight.
I didn't want to hear that. Right?
Yeah, don't tell me that.
Don't give me an excuse. Don't give me anything. It's perfect.
With 16 to go, Kyle Busch has got close enough. We could continue to talk about what would Blaney do? What would Matty D do? What will Kyle Busch do? I know he's the defending champ. I know he's won a lot of races, but he has been vocal that a win is what he is looking for. More than points, more than the playoffs. Dale Jr., would you move him?
Well, how many times have we seen the 4 car use that same bump and run on this 18?
Yep.
I mean, last couple of years, they've been in a few good battles coming down to win, and it seems like Harvick's the one, you know, moving Kyle up out of the way. So I think Kyle owes him one.
New Hampshire. Yeah,
well,
New Hampshire comes to mind.
Yeah,
But
Denny Hamlin also involved in those too with Harvick.
I think there's a lot of respect between these two drivers, but, you know,
Harvick having to run that bottom.
Kyle Busch has never gone this far into a season without getting a win. So he's hungry.
So that's it, a 34. Is he going to give him the top? Almost. Wasn't sure about that.
He does, but a good run by the 18 again.
And Eric Jones only 1.2 seconds back. I think that's a little out of touch to run him down. But we saw it at Darlington a couple weeks ago, Rick. If they get together, Eric Jones will be there.
Yes. If these guys get to even racing a little bit, Eric Jones will be there.
Under 0.2 of a second separating the top 2.
You can see Eric back there in the back of the screen. So if you're Eric, you got to stay on that radio if you're his crew chief. 18 to the bottom here.
Kyle's a little faster than Kevin right now. Can he find a way around the bottom? Can he find an opportunity for Kevin to get blocked behind a slower car? Kevin's going to have to go to the bottom of the racetrack right here. He's going to clear this car. No, going to have to stay on the bottom. That's an advantage to Kyle. Kyle trying to jump on the outside.
Couldn't get back into the gas quick enough.
That's what Kyle's wanting. He's just wanting that opportunity to get on the outside of Kevin. If he ever can get there.
Or get to his bumper.
There's that too.
Greg Gaulding up here on the outside line. Will he have, oh, he gets out of the way. Smart move for Greg.
He did get out of the way, but that was a really good run off the bottom for Kyle Busch.
Coming up on 7 laps to go.
And Kyle almost in the fence right there. See, right here is where I think Kyle Busch is better than Harvick. They get into pretty close to the same. They rotate the middle, but right here and on the corner exit, that's where Kyle's car is better.
Guys, a lot of traffic in front of Kevin and Kyle here. Got to his door, wasn't able to pin him down.
Watch the run the 18 gets right here on this exit. Wasn't able to gain as much ground as I thought he could. Harvick back to the bottom.
Coming up on 4 laps to go. 4 more times around. Can he get to the bumper?
'13 car. Ty Dillon's going to stay low off of 4. Harvick loves to see it.
Under 3 to go.
Clear sailing now in front of Harvick. Can Kyle get there though? Will Harvick slip?
2 to go. Kevin Harvick.
Kyle's closing in.
Trying to be perfect.
Great exit for Harvick.
1 more here, number 1.
Final lap.
Well, this lap car is going to slow Harvick up a little bit.
Final time. Coming through 3 and 4. Harvick's going to hold him off. Harvick wins again.
Wow.
What a race Kevin Harvick just ran.
Yeah, boy. Great job. What a car. Sorry I knocked that hole in it, but man, what a race car. Great.
9 wins in 2020 for Kevin Harvick.
Ain't nothing like winning at this place, especially with all those fans in the stands. Man, this place is awesome. Good job, guys.
Kevin, what an incredible round.
Yeah! Bristol, baby!
I know this place means a lot to you, but to beat Kyle, one of the best here, in an incredible scrap for over 50 laps. How did you get it done, Kevin?
Man, I just want to say thank you to all the fans. Thank you, guys. I was so jacked up when we started this race because of you guys and Bristol Motor Speedway. Just really, really proud of everybody on our Busch Light Ford, Mobile One, Hunt Brothers Pizza, everybody from Jimmy John's, Fields. We'll bring the sword to the go-kart tent tomorrow, so you boys better be ready to take a picture.
How about the battle with Kyle, though? It was tit for tat, and there was not an inch of room for error, Kevin.
Yeah, it was, to beat Kyle Busch at Bristol, I kind of got myself in a little bit of a ringer there. I hit a lap car and got a hole in the right front nose, but just kept fighting. We don't have anything else to lose. We were here to try to win a race. I know how much Rodney really enjoys coming here, and hell, how could you not have come in here with all this enthusiasm? Everybody's tired of being at home.
I think Kevin speaks for everybody, but to win it in front of the fans, that makes it more special, doesn't it, Kevin?
It does. I know you guys are tired of being at home like me, so I'm glad we're all here having a hell of a time. Thank you.
Kevin Harvick, incredible round of 16. On to the round of 12 in the championship fight.
You came out on the short end, Kyle. Why was the 18 just not able to get around that 4?
Just didn't have enough there at the end. The guys did a great job and gave me a really good piece tonight to contend and at least be up there and be close. But unfortunately, just didn't have enough. Lap cars were definitely a problem, but it's part of racing. You got to try to get around them where you can, and there's just no room for me to do what I needed to do on a couple of those opportunities to get past them.
We thought we heard you say on the radio, boy, that 4 car is really good. Did that mean you thought, and I'm better, I'm going to get around him? Or, man, I'm not sure if I can get around him?
No, that was earlier in the race when he drove away by like 6 seconds. So he obviously had the better car, the faster car than us tonight. But Adam made some good adjustments on that last run in order to keep us in the ball game and keep us close. But I think the 20, kind of stayed pretty consistent with us too, gap-wise. So I don't know, just come up short. What do you say?
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.